it's Justine from the Sacred Heart Homestead. Today I want to take you along with me as I restock my pantry and show you our most recent grocery haul for our family of 8. I hope you stick around. As a stay-at-home mom, one of my biggest concerns is groceries. How much groceries should I order? Is this enough food? How am I going to stay on budget? All these questions go through my mind at least once a month. Over the last 10 years, our grocery habits have changed, but it's become clear that we need to grow some of the food that we consume because we've decided to eat mostly organic. I don't believe that the organic label necessarily means that these ingredients, these foods, are healthier than others, but I do believe that they cut down on some of the chemicals that I do not want going into my body and my family's bodies. Having said that, we have had to make some sacrifices in order to increase our grocery budget to afford these foods. At this point during the year, it's spring, the garden will soon be going, and the foods we have in storage are slowly dwindling away. I try to only shop once or twice a month. I hit up 3 different stores, and then for fresh vegetables, my mom will order bulk organic produce from a company that delivers to her area. We usually use this for apples and celery and maybe some green onions. After I determine that it's time to go do some groceries, I'll look in my pantry, cellar, and freezers and see what I need to use up. Based on that, I plan what extra ingredients we're running low on. I always have staples on hand that include flour, wheat berries, oat sugar, palm sugar, honey, maple syrup, raisins, coconut, beans, rice, frozen fruit, bananas, coconut oil, coconut milk, coconut water, avocado oil, olive oil, and coffee. And then we also have all the meats in our freezers, like our chicken, our pork, and our beef. After I've determined what we need to buy, I will sit down and I'll do a price comparison over the 3 stores that we usually shop at to make sure that I'm getting the best deal. Once that's done, I will list all the ingredients we need in order of importance. If some can wait until the following month, I will do so if I'm running over on the budget. And then I go ahead and place an order for all that we need. I usually don't go in the store because I find that leads me to spending a little bit more than I would like. Today I want to do something a little bit different. I wanted to show you guys a grocery haul I just got. I've seen a lot of grocery hauls in the United States, but I don't have a lot of experience seeing them on YouTube from a Canadian perspective. Now, as most Canadians know, groceries in Canada are astronomically expensive at this point. So no matter how much you're spending, you're probably not getting a lot of bang for your buck. And we do eat mostly organic in this family. So it does have a reflection on how much we spend. On average, I set myself a $1,500 budget a month, which might seem pretty expensive, but I don't get any snack foods with this. I am an ingredient shopper, so I'm buying flour, I'm buying sugar, I'm buying all those things that can create a meal, but not necessarily those fast convenience items. We have a birthday this month, so I had a few special surprises that I got for the birthday boy, and it's also Easter at the end of this month, so I added on a few Easter treats, and I did not take that out of our total. I included it in our groceries for the month. So let's go ahead and I'll show you guys what I got. I shopped at 3 different stores. Well, actually, I online shopped at 2 stores, and then I got a grocery pickup from Independent. We also placed an order with OM Foods, which is an organic bulk grocery distributor. And finally, I also shopped at 1847 Stone Milling, which is a flour and wheat company that we really enjoy. So I will go ahead and show you guys what we got. And this grocery haul in all, I spent $1,267.37. So that means I still have some wiggle room for the rest of the month, which is fine because I did not place a Costco order. We usually get a Costco order, but I didn't need one this month, so I'll probably use that if ever I run out of anything towards the end of the month, or if I would like to place an order next month, I can just add that on to my total for the next month. Let's go ahead. All right, so we'll start over here. First off, I got a few blocks of cheese. These are pretty expensive. I think they're like $7. But the nice thing about them, and I will show you guys this once I get to the ingredients, this is made from, sorry, this is the French side, from organic unpasteurized milk. It's really hard in Canada to find this type of cheese, and so I'm happy they carry it at our local store. These right here are pretty good. The kids enjoy them. This is for their Easter basket, so I got 5 of these chocolate bars. I got these Giggles. They're kind of like a Skittle. They are organic and they don't have any artificial colors. So they've been pretty good for the kids. I'm going to use these instead of jelly beans this year in their Good Deed jar. Over here I have some wieners. I don't usually buy this, but it's for my son's birthday. He requested we have hot dogs for his birthday, so I got a bunch of those and he'll be pretty happy. We got some foil, some organic peanut butter. I hate having to mix these, but the kids love it, so we always have that on hand. 2 jars of olives. This is one of the things I don't buy organic just because it's hard to find where we are, but we always have these on hand for pizza. Over here is coconut water. I usually buy this in a 12-pack from Costco, but they didn't have any this month, so I just bought it from here, and it will have to do until we can get a Costco order. Right here again from Independent is this organic lemon juice. I don't often buy lemons and I don't really have them on hand, but if we want to make like a lemonade or just add it to mayo or whatever, this is nice to have on hand. I have a bunch of beans that I ordered from Independent. So we got some red lentils, some green lentils, some split green peas. We have some kidney beans, some navy beans. This is the cheapest way for me to purchase these specific kinds of beans. If I buy them in the larger pack from OM Foods, like I did these ones, they actually end up being more expensive. So I get them in smaller packs and then I just throw them in 5-gallon buckets, still in the wrapper because these are all airtight. So I don't need to worry about them. Over here, this is from OM Foods. So I got some chickpeas. This is 5 pounds of them. They're also called garbanzo beans. We got some pinto beans. This is another 5 pounds, and we got some black beans. We were running out of all our beans this month, so I had to stock up, and this is another 5 pounds. The quality has been pretty good. I don't find they're old or anything, so they cook up really well. Next up, I got 2 containers of sour cream. I know I have a dairy cow, but I do not like the taste of homemade sour cream. I think it tastes cowy. That's something I'll need to work on, try more recipes, but in the meantime, we're big sour cream eaters, so I got 2 containers of that. I got some turkey, they call them pepperellos, for my son. These again are the ones raised without antibiotics. I'm not 100% sure what that means, but they sounded healthier than the other ones. So I got that for my son's birthday. I have a big box of large heavy-duty freezer bags. We go through these pretty quickly because I like to freeze leftovers or breads or whatever. I also got some organic apple juice. I don't remember why I got these, but I had a plan. So once I remember why I got them, I will go ahead and do something with them. We also got these. They are dishwasher pods. They don't have any scent to them, so I don't taste them on my dishes afterwards. I find that there's some brands we use in the dishwasher and the next day I can taste it like on the glasses and stuff. So these have been pretty good. I've been happy with them. We got some toothpaste. This is fluoride-free toothpaste. I sometimes make my own toothpaste, but I'm in a season where I'm just not for some reason, and that's fine, so I just buy it. And this company is not too far from us. It's in Ontario. It's from Hawkesbury, and their products have been pretty good. We've been happy with them. I got 2 containers, 2 bottles of avocado oil. This is for mayo. And I got 1 container of balsamic vinegar because we were running low. And then all this here, these 8 packs, and you can see I already dug into this one because I needed to make some sourdough starter ASAP. These are all flour. Now I used to get them in a big bag like this one from OM Foods, but I actually figured out that because of the buy in bulk discount, so if you get 2, it's actually cheaper to buy it this way than to buy it in this big container. So now what I do is I buy these, which saves me, it's actually like 40% off. So I buy these and I'll put them in a 5-gallon bucket with a screw top lid on, and that keeps it fresh and I save more money. We have some icing sugar. I know I can make icing sugar, but I just wanted to save myself some time on a birthday, and so I got a bag of this. We got 4 bunches of bananas. We will have to buy some again in about 2 weeks. Yes, we do go through all these bananas. We're big smoothie drinkers. The kids like to snack on bananas and they're super cheap. We also got a cucumber right here, organic. I wouldn't usually buy these. We like to eat seasonally. So when the cucumbers are in the garden and they're coming up, we eat cucumbers like crazy. The rest of the time I don't buy them unless it's a special occasion, which it was. It was my son requested this for his birthday. Next up, we have a whole array of different frozen fruit. So I do raspberries and blueberries. The blueberries come in these big bags. The raspberries are just in these small ones. So I think I got 2 of them. Yeah, I did get 2 of them. And then I also got a bag of these little peas because those are fun to add into stuff. And I don't like shucking peas. So this is not something that I save over the summer. The peas that we have are usually like a snow pea or a snap pea, and we eat those fresh. We also got a vegetable medley right here. This is fun to throw in like a chicken pot pie or as a side if I'm running really late that day. So I like to keep this on hand and the kids love it. And we also got some corn. I also don't grow corn because it's too high of a demand on my soil right now, and we are trying to build up the soil, so I just have to buy it. We also bought some wild haddock. We try to just buy wild fish, not farmed fish, but who knows. This is the best we can do with where we are right now, so that's what we have. I got 2 of these. We usually have these on Fridays. I got 2 boxes of sparkling water. We're having people over for Easter, and so I like to keep this on hand for like my parents or my sister, whoever's interested in having this. I don't keep any kind of soda in the house, so no Coke, no Pepsi, nothing like that. So if guests come over, I like to have this so I can offer it to them with maybe some juice. Probably not the apple juice I got though. I don't think that would be very good, although I don't know. Some juice or something like that. Next up, I got 4 bags of rice. This is the same story as the flour that I showed you guys earlier. The rice is actually cheaper if you buy it like this than if you buy a big bag. So I just buy it again in these little packs, and it keeps, and I put it in a 5-gallon container or a box to keep them together, and this is what I use. Over here, I got all kinds of different pasta. This is our favorite organic pasta. I got some spaghettini and some linguine, some penne, some rotini. The kids like to have all these, especially for lunches and stuff, with some butter and some Parmesan. And then I got these. I got 4 packs of these brown rice sea salt rice cakes. The kids really like these. They're fun to have on hand for if I don't have any bread. So I like to keep those in the house. Over here, this right here is from OM Foods. This is a big bag of organic rolled oats. Now this is actually worth buying in this bag. This is the cheapest you can get it. The quality is really great. And especially in the area I'm in, I have a hard time finding the thick rolled oats. So these are really good to have. Next up is the tea section. So these are from OM Foods. I really like their different herb selections that I use for my teas. So I got a big bag of astragalus because I discovered I really like astragalus. I just throw it in everything. I got some lemon balm because it eases anxiety. And I've been putting that in my tea a lot. So I got a big bag to tide me over until summer. I got some marshmallow root, which would have been helpful this week for coughs and colds and all that stuff. And I got some milk thistle just to have on hand. We also got from OM Foods a bag of bee pollen. I've showed you guys how I use these in my smoothies and over the top of yogurt, so I got a little bit more. And I got a big bag from OM Foods of coconut palm sugar. This is a good sugar substitute, especially if you're gonna use brown sugar. My husband puts this in his coffee. He says it gives it like a caramelly type flavor, and I use it in my baking, like my muffins or anything like that. If it's a cake, I'll probably use regular sugar though. We also got a bag of Thompson raisins. This is a great snack for the toddler, so I like to get a big 5-pound bag. This is from OM Foods again. And I got a big bag of cocoa powder, again from OM Foods. This is a 5-pound bag. It probably will take us a year to get through this. Like, we're just getting to the end of my last bag, and I bought that about a year ago. But in terms of price for the amount that you get in here, this is worth it. If you have somewhere to store this cocoa powder, I recommend it. Next up, I got a 1-gallon container of coconut aminos. I try to avoid soy if possible. So we have switched from soy sauce to coconut aminos, but I make a lot of stir fries and beef jerky. So it's nice to have this on hand. And once again, this is the cheapest way to buy it. Next up, I got a big bag of coffee beans. My husband grinds his coffee beans and makes espresso. He likes this flavor, so I got him another one. And this is probably equivalent to the price that is in store right now for the organic coffee beans. However, these taste better, so we don't mind ordering these from them. I also got a little bag of baking powder. I only got a pound of it because baking powder does go bad. So I don't buy huge quantities of it. We do go through it pretty quickly, but it's best to have it fresh. And then finally, I got these bags from 1847 Stone Milling. We've used this company for about 2 years now, and I am so happy with their product. So I got my regular hard red wheat that I usually get. And so this I will use for like muffins or bread or whatever. I'll use it for any kind of baking. And then I also decided to get this time around, I got some Coruscant berries to mill. Coruscant is very similar to einkorn in that it's an ancient grain, and so I thought I would give it a try. And that is the entire haul. I kind of made a mess of it for this month. We might have to run out to the store a couple times, and I didn't include any meat in this one because we source our meat from a local farmer, and I got some last month and we were not out yet. We also raise our own pigs, so we have the pork from that, and we raise our own chickens, so we have eggs, but also the meat from our meat birds that we get during the summer, and then any kind of potatoes or carrots, onions, garlic, beets. I still have all of that stored away in the basement from this last year's garden, so this is all we need to keep us going for this month. So now that I've got the groceries in the house, I'm going to work at putting them away properly. That's kind of one of the downsides to getting bulk food orders, is that you have to find a space to put everything and store everything properly so that it will last you as long as you need it. Whenever I'm putting stuff away, I try to be very conscious of where I'm putting things so that my freezers don't get out of order and my pantry doesn't get out of order. There's a part of me that wants to rush it, just throw everything in, call it a day, and deal with it later, but I've learned the hard way that if I do this, I actually don't get to it later, and the mess becomes bigger and bigger until it feels quite overwhelming, and then it becomes a worry in the back of my mind that I have to deal with the freezers, and so I don't do that anymore. I spend the extra amount of time and put things away properly. I also had some things I needed to put away in our pantry. This pantry is right off the kitchen, and it actually used to be a closet that was underneath our stairs. My husband made it a little bit bigger and added some shelving for me. And now I have all this extra space to put our canning and our dried ingredients, and it's really been a huge blessing to have this pantry. Although we live in a small town, it's not necessarily a food desert. About an hour away, we have decent stores with higher quality goods, and we often go to those stores if I need a specific ingredient that I can't find here. We also source our meat from the farm with the same values that we have. We actually bought our dairy cow Honey May from them last year. I know you've probably heard this before, but it is so important to know your farmers and know the way that they treat the animals that they have in their care. For us, it's been a great learning experience. Whenever we've had problems with our cattle, or if we wanted some advice, we've gone to them, and they have been so helpful to us. During the gardening season, I grow a lot of foods that we can cure and store as is, such as squash and potatoes. We also grow foods we can easily ferment, like cabbage. We keep most of our ferments in the fridges in the barn. I won't bother showing you guys that. It's just a little fridge that we keep in our room that has our well. I also do some canning, which includes jams and jellies and apple sauces, relish, pickles, tomato products like you saw in my pantry. Keeping things simple and not overcomplicating how I'm going to store foods has really helped make the garden more realistic for me. I don't have time to can all day long, but I do have time to grab a few green beans and throw them in a Ziploc bag and pop them in the freezer for later use. Being choosy about what foods I decide to grow in the garden or raise and what foods we choose to outsource has really simplified things in the kitchen for me while still allowing us to keep the high quality of food around that we expect. Although I do keep a lot of bulk foods on hand, I don't consider myself a prepper. I like to keep things minimal in my kitchen, or else I feel overwhelmed. I figure if the world shuts down, I'm going to adapt. I have a lot of skills that I've developed over the years, like I know how to butcher my own chickens, I can ferment, I can can things. And I also figure will be able to trade and barter. I don't want to have to keep goods stored away. That spirit of fear is just not a good place for me to be mentally. I'm not criticizing those who do prep. For me, it was just not enjoyable when I did venture into that. And so I've chosen to keep on hand what I need for the next few months, and once I run out, I just purchase more. Wow, you did that. All gone. Part of my responsibility as a stay-at-home mom is to make sure that we are using our resources efficiently. That means that I can't be overspending on groceries every single month. Our grocery budget might seem high to some, it might seem low to others, but this is what works for our family. Sticking to ingredients rather than buying convenience foods has really allowed us to cut down on the amount that we spent. However, there was a time where my husband and I had to pay off some debt very quickly, and so we are not opposed to rice and beans. However, that kind of diet is not long-term. We spent about 2 years eating that kind of food, and at the end of the 2 years, I noticed some nutritional deficiencies that led to some health problems for myself and for my husband. Now that we've switched our diets over to whole foods and made sacrifices in other areas of our life, we are both in much better health and our children are thriving. The really odd thing about it, though, is I did not notice how awful I felt most of the time until we started eating cleaner ingredients. If If you're at a point in your life where you're looking to make better nutritional choices but feel overwhelmed by the amount of information out there and also your budget, one tip that I always give to others is just to start small. The very first thing we did when I started eating more cleanly is that I cut out seed oils. After that, I slowly incorporated sourdough, and then later on kefir, and after that raw milk, and it just evolved from there. Eventually, I got much better at gardening, and then I was able to grow a lot of our foods. And I didn't have to worry about paying extra for them. But this is all a process. It's not going to happen overnight. So if this is something that you want, you can achieve it. Just don't feel bad that it's going to take a little bit of time to get used to it. Also keep in mind, even when you get there, it's not going to be perfect. For example, this is our cellar. It doesn't look anything like those Pinterest-worthy cellars that you see in homesteading accounts. But this cellar works for us. We've managed to keep carrots, beets, a lot of potatoes and onions, apples down here for most of the winter. Since the temperatures have warmed up, however, the food has slowly been starting to go bad. And so I've been having to come down here and sort through the squash and make sure that I'm not letting anything get too bad. As you can see, we had quite a bit of squash that had started to go bad, and so I'm just sorting through it and trying to salvage what I can. This butternut squash can actually be substituted for pumpkin pretty easily, so I will cook that up over the coming week and freeze it for later use. It's pretty clear to me that I need to become more efficient in using up the food that we have in the cellar. And that's all I have for you this week. If you have time, I'd love it if you could hit the like button. And if you're new here or you haven't done so already, please go ahead and subscribe. I'm here every Thursday with a new video. I'll see you all next week.